All right, ladies and gentlemen, today's lesson is going to be taught by the class. I'm very excited about this. And I've got my notebook over here, so I'm going to take some notes if y'all got this, because I really am interested to hear what everybody has to say about what they do during the slow time. So typically in real estate, nobody really wants to move right around Christmas time. Now, I've been very lucky this year. I've got a couple of people trying to jump into new homes, and there's all these huge incentives with new homes, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And then I've got a few investors. So I've actually got a pretty busy December on my agency side, on my realtor side, which is very atypical for me. Normally, we're very, very slow. Does anybody else normally slow down this time of year? Kind of that November, Thanksgiving, right? We all just kind of slowly dive down, wait for the new year when everybody's ready to make these new decisions. So what do you do all day long? I don't know about you, but there's a lot of times where I'm just sitting around going, okay, what do I do today? Because there's no fires. In real estate, as a realtor, you become very reactionary just with everything that's going on. You know, you're constantly reacting, and this is a great time to stop and start planning out so you can be purposeful moving forward going into it. So that's the first thing that I would recommend that everybody does. Take a hot minute, slow down, and start getting organized. If you've got that pile of stuff on your desk, that is the first thing I would tell you to do. Get organized. Now that the dust has kind of settled from a crazy fall, crazy summer, take a minute to get organized. One of the first things that I'm going to be doing starting tomorrow is, if you can see that calendar back here in the back, I've got those thermometers, and that first thermometer is only filled in so much. At the beginning of the year, I set a goal for myself, and I've been tracking it in the spreadsheet, but I haven't filled that out. So I'm going to do things like I'm cross-referencing where I'm at with my goals to see how much I met. I'm going to be doing a lot of analytics with that, like where did all of my sales come from? Where did they, who did I get it from? A referral from somebody? Did I get it off my marketing? Is it the paid referrals that I'm doing? I'm going to be taking a minute to get organized and get all my analytics down so I know what I'm doing. I had investment goals, like I wanted to buy X amount of houses, which I know I've already superseded that. We've got goals on like how many houses. Like I wanted to sell $12 million worth of real estate this year on my agency side. Last I checked, I was somewhere around 7 or 8. So I'm guessing I'm going to be missing that mark, but I want to know why and where most of my things are so I can focus on that stuff next year. Does anybody else do any kind of tracking like that when it comes to their agency or investment goals? Israel, like, what do you do, Israel?
I said goals. I do quarterly goals. I mean, I'm mainly referral based, so I really attack calling, making calls, and sending texts during Thanksgiving. Like literally, I was on my phone pretty much all day, doing the calls and sending messages to all my past clients, and that normally kind of helps out boost where I want to be. So
yeah, Zagla, what do you do on your goals and your organization, your tracking? How do you handle all that?
I put everything into my CRM, and I put tags based off of where it came from, the state it's at, how to close. But a lot of mine is referral and or cold calls.
Right, and Zagla, you're still doing a lot of wholesaling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that is going to be a lot of cold calling on that end of things.
And then on my retail side, it's 100% referrals. Oh wait, no, I would say 90% referral, 10% cold call. Because even with cold calls, when they're asking retail, majority of the time they already have a realtor that they're going to list with. So my December is also, I have 2 traditional sales going on this month. Almost 3 because of investors flipping their houses that are going to be ready this month. But again, those are all referrals.
Gotcha. Celio?
What
kind of tracking do you do? How do you track, and where do you keep your information together?
At the end of the year, I normally wait around December the 15th, around late December, and I start going through everything. I don't keep track of my CRM, which is horrible, but I do keep a spreadsheet, an Excel spreadsheet, and I just go back and see where I got all of my transactions from, where they came from, if they came from referrals, if they came from my marketing, things like that.
Gotcha. I'm skipping over Tanner, not because I don't like him, but I find the beard unnerving. No, I'm kidding. It's Tanner's helping us out with a lot of our marketing, so he's here to check things out. So, Tanner, do you track any of your stuff? I mean, as you're going through all this, how are you tracking? Because I know you're helping us with marketing and getting us new agents. What are you doing to track, and how are you getting organized as we get into the new year? Handwritten notes, man. Good old fashioned. Dude, I've got about 700 of those things running around. You just keep writing things down. I will say this, to Tanner's point, there's something about handwritten notes, folks. I know I'm not that old yet, right? I still use my iPad. I've got all the reminders. I've got stuff like that set up. I use CRMs, but there's something about handwriting stuff down. That's why I have that big calendar behind me with those things, because it is a visual cue that I look at daily. And the second thing is there's something about pen to paper. I don't know what it is. It just manifests things into the universe. So as you're working on your goals and doing anything, I highly recommend that your first, second, and third draft be written. And if you want to then put it into a computer somewhere, that's great. I know it's a little dated and it takes a little bit longer, but I do highly recommend that. So yeah, so my first thing would be is spend a minute to get organized. Let the dust settle, get organized. Don't get caught up in it. Set a timer. This is true. This is on my desk right now. I have a gigantic timer on my desk that I use, and I will say, I'm going to be doing this for 20 minutes. And this little thing just goes tick, tick, tick. And when 20 minutes is up, if I know it's not an income producing activity, which organization is not, then I set a firm amount of time that I will be working on it today. And then whenever it goes off, I make myself, or I finish my one little thought, and then I move on to my next deal, because guys, it is so easy to get, I always call it majoring in the minors. There's so many things that you can do on a daily basis that do not make you money. And unfortunately, organizing does not make you money. It's going to streamline you. Yes, you're going to be, but you are way better off on a phone, texting somebody, doing something to get in front of people, and whatever it is that you do. But organization's not one of them. So don't get caught up in that. Don't get lost in the minors, major in the minors on that one. Don't get lost in the weeds, as we said when we waited tables, right? If y'all ever heard that, I'm in the weeds, right? That's the weeds. That is just the busy work that's going to keep you not being productive. So there's a big difference between being busy and productive, and make sure you're being productive. So set a timer as you're organizing. The second thing I like to do right now. I have ADHD. Yeah, right. And dude, so same here, man. I'm self-diagnosed, right? But I am busy. If you've ever talked to me, I'm squirrely as hell. And so that keeps me focused. 30 minutes doing this. And every day, actually, I have a piece of paper that I write down where I time block what I do throughout the days. Like I have my 3 major things that I got to do. I time block. I've got all this 30 minutes down. I'm organizing for this. I don't know where my one for today is. It's around here somewhere. This is my one that I started for tomorrow. But I time block doing that stuff. So that's how I know I have 30 minutes to do this, or an hour to do this, or whatever it might be. That timer only goes up to an hour. And guys, that was $15. I originally bought it for my kids, because my wife would always say to them, you've got 30 minutes to eat, or you got 20 minutes to eat. And, you know, they're 4 years old. They have no concept of what 20 minutes is. And I was like, they need a visual timer. And then it turned out that the 41-year-old guy actually got a lot of use out of it too. I was like, this is really helpful. It's like $15 on Amazon, by the way, guys. And I love it. So I would highly recommend that. The second thing I really like to do this time of year, when it slows down and I can breathe, is this is a great time. I call them touches. This is a great time to touch your clients, not physically. Let's not make things weird, but a touch is any reason that you contact them, right? And this is a great time of year to contact them and not need something. That is huge when it comes to making relationships with people. Just what's up? How are you? Whatever it might be. If you're new to this game and you've had 5 clients this year, right? And you sold 5 houses, you made $5,000 a piece, you made $25,000 part-time, and you're pumped. This is a good time just to call them, say what's up. You know what I mean? Hey, happy holidays. I just wanted to say I'm thankful for you. You know, thanks for being one of my first clients. Thank you for trusting me. How's everything going? How's the house? Offer recommendations, all that good stuff. A great way to do this is Christmas cards. Like I love sending Christmas cards. And I'm actually really methodical about my Christmas cards, and it takes me a really long time. I order Christmas cards off Costco. It's the cheapest place I've ever found them. I just get the photo Christmas cards, and it comes with an envelope. And I handwrite every single address, and I handwrite a note on the back of every single one of my Christmas cards. Sometimes it's easy as Merry Christmas. Can't wait to see you this time. Hey, thanks so much for taking me to the UTSA game. Hey, thanks for doing that. Whatever happened to me, when I see that person's name, whatever pops in my head, it's a memory that I have of them. And I do that on every single one of them. Guys, I send out, last year, I think it was close to 500 Christmas cards. It takes me a long time to do that. It takes me the better part of probably 7 or 8 hours. It's probably a full day of doing that. But I do highly recommend it because it is a very genuine touch. I'm not, and by the way, guys, a touch, there's different kinds of touches, but these kind of touches need to be non-agenda based. You cannot, ask them for something, or you still looking to buy, or whatever it might be. Don't bring business into this. Nobody's looking at that for a house right now. Nobody. They're Christmas shopping. They're crazy just like you are with all that ancillary stuff. So that would be the second thing, is find a way to touch your clients, whatever it might be. Other ideas that I've seen recently that I thought were really cool. There's some realtor list that I'm on. I've never bought from her. I've never talked to her. She's never been the opposing agent on another side. I have no idea how she got my contact information. She's some realtor at New Braunfels. I can't even remember her name, which is terrible, but I love this idea. She has gone around to businesses and has said, hey, my name's Colin. I want to offer my clients like a free ice cream cone. Can I open a tab here with you? And anybody that comes in and shows you my email, they put it on there, and then she just goes and pays the tab at the end of the month or whatever it might be. I get one of those from her every other month. Now, I'm not saying you need to spend that kind of money, but that is a fantastic touch. She's not asking me for anything. She's giving me something that's kind of cool. It's not really expensive, whatever an ice cream cone costs, $4 or $5. I don't know how much she spends on it per year, but that's an idea of a fantastic touch. Like, hey, Merry Christmas, go by here and pick out a Christmas ornament. I've talked to the guys, just tell them my name and they'll put you on the tab, right? So kind of a cool idea. Does anybody else have any unique ways that they like to reach out to their clients, or gifts giving, or anything that they've done like that? Israel, I saw you took yourself off mute. What's a good one from you?
Yeah, no, I was going to bring up, I started using Givingly application, and it's worked for me. I haven't used it as much as I think I should, but it has worked for me. It's called Givingly. It's like a text, and it's like a little card, and you can actually pick like a Starbucks gift card or whatever, and you put the amount and you put like a little note on it as well. And they get like a little text, and they're able to utilize whatever you have sent to them. And I started using it just to kind of test it out with like Starbucks, like, hey, I just thought of you, have a coffee on me or something like that. And it's been working out. I mean, like I said, I just started using it instead of just sending text messages, because I do that quite a bit. Just, hey, how's it going? How are the kids? And I've got same thing, notes on their kids' names and their ages, things like that. They love talking about their kids.
One of the things, guys, that I also, if you want to do it for free, email me, Colin at White Line Realty. I'll send you a link. But I use something called Send Out Cards. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but it's an online thing. But you go in there and you type in the address and all this stuff, and it will mail them a physical card, like with an envelope, with a real stamp, the whole thing. The cool thing about that is, to Israel's point, is I can add in like a $5 Starbucks gift card. The other thing that's really cool, and the way I use it most of the time, is they have a bajillion cards. Like if you want to send a birthday card, whatever, right? But they have there's two things that are really cool. One is you can put your own photo on a card. So if I go somewhere with a client, like I took a client to a football game the other day, we took a picture at the thing. I sent a card with us at the football game on the front. Thanks so much. Had a great time. I cannot tell you how many people I've done that for, and on their bookshelf or something like that, that card will be sitting there. It's a memory. It costs like $1.50 a card, something. It's not really that much to send them. If you throw in a Starbucks gift card, obviously you're paying for that. So Send Out Cards is one of them that will do that. I really like doing that. Also, if you pay for the upgrade, which I did, they will turn your handwriting into a font. And you can and they'll have you sign, and like they'll digitize your signature. So it looks like your actual handwriting and your actual signature. It is my handwriting, but you can tell it's like laser printed. If that makes any sense. They're not using an actual pen. That's why I handwrite so many other things. The second thing I was going to say on that one is EvaBot. EvaBot, I think is what it is. Hold on. Sorry, I'm looking on my phone. Yeah, Eva. That's EvaBot. What's cool about EvaBot is you give it your client's name and phone number, and the bot starts texting them. And it says, hey, Colin wanted to say thank you for whatever, I don't even know what all it says. And it starts asking them questions. Like, do you like to do outdoor stuff? Do you like to do this? Do you like to do that? And it figures out what to send the client as a thank you gift. So you can set those up automatically too. And I think the cheapest gift I can give is a $30 gift plus $18. So it's $48, but you can send up to $1,000 worth of gifts. But the client answers questions, and that bot picks out $30 worth of stuff to send them based on what they answered. So that's another cool one. If you have any big clients that you don't have time to really think about something, just it sends it, it starts talking to them, and then it sends you an email going, hey, by the way, we sent them, whiskey glasses, Instapot or whatever they send them, so it's really kind of cool because it is
What's
a big
that one
variety
called?
of stuff. Eva Bot, EVA. Yeah, EVA Bot. It's an app, and then there's a website too.
I do have something to add. My roommate does sales, and it's not exactly the same as real estate, but he takes people's, like, he asks them questions when he's selling them and puts that in the notes on their contact. And then so, like, their birthday, stuff like that, things they're into. And then he'll go look back at those important dates or whatever he put in there and message them on their birthday, stuff like that. And then ask them questions, and then, every 6 months. And most of his, clients, his sales are returning customers because of that. When you contact people after you've done business with them, they're more likely to come back to you rather than trying to find somebody else the next time. So that's really important with the follow-up stuff.
Hey guys, like literally, y'all notice I didn't even get up. Right here, I've got thank you cards and I've got birthday cards within hand reach of me at all times at my desk. To Tanner's point, guys, if you pay attention to your paperwork, you know your clients' birthdays. If you're paying attention whenever you're buying a house with them, you know what they like. They've got a dog. They've got this. Put notes in your CRM and pay attention, guys. It does go a long way, to Tanner's point. It does go a very long way. Anybody else got any unique ways that they like to reach out to their clients? Susie, I know, cooks. I bet you Susie, yeah, I'd like to. She's smart. She knows what I'm talking about. Susie came to my house with a plate of cookies. I'd love it.
I do love to cook.
I know, and I love cookies. So heads up, just throwing that out there, just putting that in the universe. Do what you will. Do what you will with it. The next thing, guys, is along with this. So any of my past clients so number one, organize, do some analytics, right? Number two, start reaching out to your clients, give them some touches, non-business related, right? These are the core of your business. As a realtor, as everything I do, I'm always incredibly surprised how much of it comes from these random referrals that I get from people. The guy that I took to the football game that I was telling you about is actually a financial advisor from Wells Fargo who's never bought or sold a house through me. However, we're friends, so I take him to do stuff, and he sends me clients all the time that want to buy investment properties. And I mean, it's the weirdest thing in the world, but it works. Guess what? You're going to a football game with me. So number three, guys, is start marketing. Marketing to me is going to be the outside people that you may or may not have a relationship with. This is a great time to do some marketing, or at least start planning out your marketing. One of the things that I do like to do is I will send out mass emails, mass texts, things of that nature if you've done your CRM correctly, you should have a huge list of people that aren't your clients yet. So this is a good time to reach out to them. I do consider it marketing. I try to keep it off the beaten path, but I will throw in certain things like, hey, have a Merry Christmas from my house to yours. Colin Corrington, realtor, right? I'll throw in the word realtor. If it's a client that I've already worked with, I'm not going to say something like that. So any kind of marketing campaign that you want to do or start looking into, this is a good time to do it. Since it's a little bit slow, it's time to do your research. Raise your hand if, since you've been a realtor, somebody has called you, texted you, or emailed you about buying leads through, I don't know, Redfin or somebody. One of these guys are calling you. Now's the time to think about it, okay? I'm not saying you have to do it. I've never told anybody they have to spend money, but if it's something you're considering, now that it's a little bit slow, spend some time to do some research on it, right? They always call you at the worst possible times, right? They always call you when you're about to walk into a house or you're, trying to spend time with your family. It never fails, but now's the time to go, okay, is this something that I want to do? And like something like Chime, like we've got Chime CRM, guys, you can pay for leads through Chime. We've got a lead pond. Maybe it's time to sit down and do your training on the lead pond to find out if you can do that, right? What's in there? How do I use it? How do I work it? Guys, we have time right now, the precious, precious time. You've still got to work, and marketing during this time is a good thing, or at least plan out your marketing schedule, right? This year, normally I take a real cute Christmas card photo. We do all that kind of stuff. Didn't happen this year. My wife's like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, find some cute pictures from us on vacation, put them in there, right? And so we've got one, and you can tell the people that have thrown a Christmas card together, that's me this year, and people that haven't. If you're planning on doing some marketing, like I've done a lot of really funny stuff in the past. Like when I used to work for schools, I would make this whole Star Wars thing, and I took this professional photo shoot and had us all Photoshop so we look like Star Wars characters, sent that out to people. I've done Fiesta before as a realtor, like a big Fiesta thing, right? I've done whatever it is, guys. Plan out your marketing for the year, figure out the cost for that, what it's going to cost you. Is it worth it? This is a good time to do cost benefit analysis as well if you're looking in the rear too. Does anybody have any fun marketing that they've done recently, or that they really has worked or hasn't worked, or they just started trying or have questions about? I've been doing the old fashioned, lots of mailers lately. I've been doing lots of
mailers. I see a lot of really good realtors on Instagram with their reels. They have hundreds of thousands of followers, and it's just posting videos of the houses, you know, just throwing them up there. I would watch some of those and get really good at taking videos. They do them with their iPhone. Like, it's not really that hard, you know. It doesn't take a lot of effort or time to throw a reel together. And if you get good at putting a simple edit together and you just get some followers, you know, if you got 200,000 followers, you only need 10% to buy from you. You know what I mean?
So I 100% agree with Tanner. My second most popular TikTok right now was me walking through this house. My third most popular TikTok was me walking through a house. Now, the second one was this house that sat on 100 something. It was on top of a mountain out in Pipe Creek, and it was just gorgeous, right? That was cool. The other one was like a house that had like a little secret office door behind a staircase and like all this kind of stuff. And it was just kind of cool. I love what Tanner said. Follow some of these good guys, but listen carefully, guys. Set the timer, because you will get lost in Instagram reels thinking you're doing research and you're just sitting there screwing off for 3 hours. Don't, that's a huge waste of time. Set a timer. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to look at these for a handful of minutes. To Tanner's point, guys, sitting down at your computer to edit something is a huge pain in the ass, right? I have to do it for a lot of these videos that I do because I want a good edit when I'm done, and it is best for like big edits. But download this app, CapCut, CapCut. CapCut. I learned about that one from the TikTok. That's a great little photo editing app. It's better than iMovie if you have an iPhone, at least for I like iMovie on my computer, but I don't like it on my phone. CapCut's pretty good and easy on your phone. So what happens is I go around, I'll shoot a video of something like that, a bunch of raw kind of B-roll stuff, and I'll piece it together when I'm eating lunch, and then I'll push it out.
It really does not take long.
A good one.
I use an app called Splice. It's like $3 a month, I think. And it's also really good. You can do Photoshop, all kinds of stuff with that. And it takes, you know, just put a bunch of 5-second clips together. You put 10 of them together, just nothing real crazy, and just post it on there. People like it. Especially if you get some good shots, like you do one good 5-second shot of the living room, people are gonna love that. It's just like real simple, nothing too flashy. You don't have to do anything crazy, and just keep it under a minute. And you know, people have small attention spans, but they like that. You know, just like it's like dopamine releases when they see something pretty, but it's really fast. You show them a bunch of pretty stuff really fast, and they absolutely dig that. You know, they'll like it, whatever.
The second thing that I found very effective, I use a lot of humor, but that's my personality, right? But the second thing is the before and after. So if there's anybody in here that's investing and you're doing flipping, like that one takes me a little bit longer to do because I'll do my final walkthrough video and then I'll splice on top like what it looked like at the beginning. You know what I mean? So it kind of get that HGTV feel. People really seem to like that one as well. If you're doing investment,
if you want to do a before and after, you can literally go from right to left, sweep with the camera, and then come from left to right with a finished product and just have it switch in between. And something that simple is like, people love that. It gets a lot of views.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. Great way to market. It's free. this is the intent of this is not to talk about marketing the entire time, but I will say when I started, 90% of my business for the first 2 or 3 years came solely from Facebook people. Like I was just putting what I was doing on Facebook, and a girl that I graduated high school from that I haven't spoken to since the 1900s calls me out of the flipping blue. And she's like, hey, my mom wants to sell her house. Can you go do it for her? Yep. I got a phone call 2 weeks ago from a guy I have not spoken to since 1998. Hey man, can you sell my house for me in Seguin? I'm like, yep, sure can. So make sure you're doing that, guys. Great time to do it. Catch up. If you're like me, you can binge too. So I will sit down, I'll set my timer for an hour, and I'll edit 15 of these videos. I'll save them all in my camera, and then I'll upload them throughout the week because I don't always have time to edit them. That's kind of the pain in the butt, right?
And if you want to do it really fast, you can actually just go to Instagram Reels, find one that you like, and then click use template, and you just put your own video in there, and it'll make it for you. Like it actually gets really simple. Like you said, you can do 15 of them in an hour, and and you can post one a day. Like it's super fast.
Post. I'll do that for marketing. All right, gotcha. So the first one I had, guys, was get organized. Second one, as I was like, reach out, do some genuine touches with your clients. Third one is start doing some marketing. And the fourth one that I've got, guys, is you've got to start planning. You've got to start planning now when it's slow. I am huge on goal setting. I'm huge on goal tracking. I am huge on figuring out how I'm going to do things. I've had a banner year this year. Personally, I have not made the most money I've ever made, but I have bought more properties. We have got so many doors, so much going on right now that frankly, I'm a little impressed with myself. I'm stressed to high heaven, but during this time, I'm going to plan and I'm going to figure out, like, how do I alleviate the stress? Susie knows this because I told her, I was like, I'm not buying any more houses this year. I had to stop because I had the ability to go buy more, but I was getting behind. The treadmill was moving too fast, right? So I need a minute to stop. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to plan out the rest of my year. I'm going to plan out 2023. To me, it is not something that you do on January 1st. January 1st is when the gun goes off. Okay, guys, you should have your plan together and know exactly how you're going to attack on maybe January 2nd. Sometimes we'll have a rough New Year's Eve. You might want to just start January 2nd, but you gotta have ready to get that gun going off, right? You got to get ready for that now. So some of the things that I will do is, now that I've organized and I've done my analytics, I know where my clients are, where the base of it is. I know where my weak spots are. I know where the strong stuff's coming in. I know all of that. So I use that information going forward. If I know that I've had 15 person referrals this year, I know I need to work up more referrals, that I should have way more than that. So I will put in my thing, like in my goal setting stuff, I'm going to write 10 handwritten cards a week to former clients, or to this or to that, or whatever it is, to bump up my referral numbers, right? So we've got that analytics. So the fourth thing I like to do is plan. Get ready for my year 2023. What is White Line going to look like? Eric and I sit down and we talk about it, right? Some things we get done throughout the year, some things we don't, and we go back and we analyze it. We beat each other up over the things we haven't done. We plan for the things we do want to do. What is my investment going to look like? Take that minute. It's like, okay, I've got so many doors. Do I want to 1031 exchange into something bigger this year? Are we going to keep the plan running that way? I don't know. Got to sit down and figure that out. It's a good time to do that because there's a lot of math. My agency stuff, my broker stuff, like, how many more houses do I want to sell? For those of y'all that have heard me talk about this before, I don't spend any of my investment income. I live off of my realtor income. That's what pays for the lights and the mortgage and stuff. That's what I try to do. It's kind of a difficult balancing act, but I like to keep my investment money working. So it's a little bit different. Does anybody else have anything that they like to plan now going forward, or any ways that they do plan that they'd like to share that they found effective? Zagla, I know you're a huge planner. Celia, I'm guessing you are. We haven't spent a lot of time together, but you strike me as a very organized person.
I try to be, but with my CRM, I just can't. I don't know. I'm horrible with it. And I'm horrible with social media. So I don't know. And like this year, a lot of my clients, the majority of my clients were senior citizens. So, you know, I guess that's why, and they love handwritten stuff. They just totally love it. So, you know, I think that's the niche I'm going to stick with seniors. So doing too much, I usually call them, don't text, because, you know, they're seniors, they can't text back. So I call them, they're very grateful. And
can I hear you when you call?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
She does have
this? Sorry,
she has a good point, guys. On the marketing, kind of understand who your customer base is. Like Instagram's not going to work if you're selling mostly old people.
Yeah. So, you know,
That's
that's
a really
why.
good point.
And I've never really liked social media. And, you know, I guess like my first 2 years in real estate, I didn't work with too many seniors, but I did. So then those seniors are now referring their, you know, friends. So that's why this year it's like the majority of them, I would say like 90% of them were seniors.
Oh, so Celia, you're hitting the nail on the head with two of those things, right? Once you organize and get your analytics, and now you can plan your marketing. You're exactly right. When you hit a vein, you're going to keep going down that road, which it's not a bad thing. If you're happy with where you're going, great. Keep talking to the older folks, right? If you're like, hey, I really want to get in with teachers. How can I get in with teachers? I really want to get in with investors. How can I get in with investors, right? Because that's vein's going to run. You're going to get referrals if you do your job right. Sorry, Celia, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, yeah, I totally agree with that. Totally agree. And I've tried, I've tried to work with other people, but I just don't find, and working with everyone is great, but I just don't find that I'm getting too many referrals from them as opposed to the ones, that I got, like seniors. It's
right.
just, yeah. So handwritten stuff works for me. I am very organized, but it's all like old school. I have to physically write everything down, and then I'll put it in my calendar. But more than likely I don't know, I have pen and paper. Everything has to be written down.
Yeah, it's always a little different. I mean, like I like to write everything down. For some reason, it sticks in my memory better when I do that versus when I type it. But yeah, no, I agree. And handwritten stuff is great. Like you got the time, guys. You got the time. Block it off, get it done. All right. So those are my 4 things that I like to do in the month of December. Anybody else got anything that they really like to do this time of year? There's a 5th thing that I'm going to share with you in a minute, but does anybody else have something they like to do to tie up their year or get ready for the next year? All right. See, this is how I know I'm a good teacher, because it's everything, cover everything.
You hit everything already, man.
So the 5th thing, guys, is take some time. Force yourself to take some time. With me personally, I feel like I don't do a really good job on a day-to-day basis of being present with my kids and my wife. I've always got something going on. I could sit in front of my computer for the next 10 years and not finish what I got to do right now. So I really, really try to take some time, be present with my kids, my wife. I mean, my wife's a big Christmas lady. Like that's her time of year. Like our house tomorrow this weekend will vomit Christmas. I'll have toys and stuff everywhere. She really enjoys this time of year. My kids, of course, they're excited. Santa, we got the elf on the shelf. We've got all that stuff going. And it's really hard to move that elf every night, make sure I'm doing that. But it's important. It's special. And in the mornings, I'm trying to force myself, instead of waking up and screaming at them, get out the door and get dressed and put your shoes on, right? Like I try to take that minute to help them look for the elf, and help them, just different stuff like that, guys. So the 5th thing, which I do think is actually the most important, is to take a minute this time of year. Really try to enjoy your friends, your family, be present. Let some of that stress unwind, since you don't have a whole bunch of option periods ending in 3 days or contracts coming up, or all that kind of stuff that you're fighting through constantly. You don't have it this month. You might, but it should be less, and statistically. So take that extra time, set some time, guys. I've been trying really hard to just clock out at about 6 o'clock, just shut everything down. And go to bed earlier, get some sleep, because it is slower for me. So that would be the fifth thing I would tell you is enjoy the time, enjoy your people. Remember why we do all the things that we do, why we push so hard. And people that I'm so proud of what we've built at White Line and the people that are here, because we've got such a great culture with so many great people here. But I do notice that we're all very type A. Or most of us are very type A. We are very go, 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 go. So try to hit the brakes. Remember why we're doing it all. So that's all I've got, unless anybody's got any more questions. We're right at about an hour. So anybody got any questions, comments, concerns, anything else they'd like to share? Well, that being said, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, which was last week, I am thankful for all of you that came here, and call me if you need anything. Otherwise, have a great rest of the week.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. You too.
All right, bye guys.
Bye.